Hey guys, I know I haven't done a video in quite a while, so I thought I'd just show two of the more obscure figures, as I haven't really seen them shared around the place too much. So I'll start with Thorin Oakenshield. So as you can see with the box, here's some pretty nice artwork of Richard Armitage as Thorin Oakenshield, and it says The Hobbit. Now, they've gone for the front of this one. It's the Battle of the Five Armies, which is the final film of the Hobbit trilogy, and the Bilbo also says that. I'm not sure if they've done that just because it's the latest film, and therefore they wanted to try and include as many accessories as possible with these guys. But ultimately, I think they wanted to probably go with the more shiny outfit on Thorin, and that's probably the reason why they've done the Battle of the Five Armies there. But the accessories that they come with, and when we get to that, you'll see that it does pretty much cover the films. So at the moment, I've got Aramir from Two Towers in transit. I'm not sure when he'll be here. He hasn't cleared customs yet. I'm hoping he doesn't get caught up in Chinese New Year. But it does say that he was picked up by the post company on the 31st, so I'm hoping that that's something. Okay, so we do get a variety of hands, and each of the hands do have this nicely detailed ring, the gloves and whatnot. So get relaxed, get a pair of fists, and then another. There are two sword holding hands. I think, yeah, one for either side. See the ring there. So they do give you a variety. Now he does come with two swords. He comes with this large dwarven sword, which this is where I think the fact that they say five armies comes into play, because I don't recall him having this sword early on, so I think this might have been towards the very end of the film, where they are kind of trapped. Well, they're kind of surrounded, and they're all looking over from the armory lookout. So this could be a sword from that armory. It's been quite a while since I have watched the Hobbit films, so I'm not 100% sure on this sword, but the accessories just list it as a dwarven sword. But it's got fairly nice detail. You can see the dwarven runes, nice detailing there, and it's practically identical on both sides. This one is plastic. Normally Asmus do die-cast swords, and I will show you that in a second. But this one is plastic for whatever reason. I imagine because of its size, it would be far too heavy, even as a two-handed weapon for a character to hold that. Now, one thing you do have to be very careful of, and it has dropped out of the tray several times, is the Key of Erebor. Now, I do have a 1:1 prop of the Key of Erebor, and the fact that the detailing on this one is to 6 scale key is insane. So there is a hand designed for holding it, so but it is so small that I wouldn't want to risk losing it. It's very similar to the key Davy Jones has. Now the stand does just say The Hobbit, and it's 1:6 scale collectible figure, and it has the figure code on the bottom there. We do get a sheath. Now this one here, it is plastic. It's we can see nice colouring. Again, you've got those runes going along the side. You've got the strap there, which is like a leathery material, and that again is identical on both sides. And this is, and you can just you can wrap it around and tie it to the figure himself, and it is designed for holding this sword here. Now, I can't remember its Elvish name, but it is the Orc Slayer sword, as they call, as Beandril refers to it. When he finds out that Thorin has the sword, he gets quite annoyed. And again, this is the die-cast sword. You can probably see the light reflecting off it. Let's see if I can get the runes to focus a bit more. Now you can see that the handle looks quite worn, but the blade is very nicely sculpted, and you can see the detail. Not as much detail as some of the other swords that we've seen in the Lord of the Rings universe, but I'm pretty certain that this is quite screen accurate, so it was probably just not as fancy. Now looking at Thorin himself, so we can see, my only issue, and I guess this is probably the main issue with any rooted figure, his hair, depending on how you have it, gets really puffy, and it just kind of moves out of place every once in a while. So you can see that at the moment it does look quite puffy. I did have it, you can kind of pat it down like that, and it's not as bad. I did see on OSR that there was someone that did add extra hairspray to it to kind of fix it a bit. But the hair is probably my only complaint with this figure. As you can see, the head sculpt is pretty spot on, and he is looking like a pissed off dwarf. You can see that he has this outer coat. Now this coat, Asmus don't provide instructions with their figures. You could probably take this off. I don't think he ever does remove it in the films, but you can see underneath it you have this very shiny dwarven belt. There is the sheath that I believe is for holding the bigger sword. It's already attached to him, and it just sits in there. It does add quite a bit of weight to the figure, despite it being plastic. So you have again, you have this dragon's mithril type armor underneath, and this is all sculpted. And there is another shirt beneath that, and his boots do have again that dwarven crafting texture to them, and he has fur, just like the coat. He has a fur effect going up the boots. The articulation is pretty good. It's pretty good for the most part. It's pretty much just making sure that you really don't mess with the hair too much. Now the only other small complaint I have about this is, so his other main accessory is of course the Oakenshield, which is this huge shield made of an oak tree. It is plastic, but as you... Sorry, the phone rotated a bit too far there. It is plastic, but as you can see, it has a very nice wooden texture to it. You can see it's got metal-looking tips that is plastic. Now, you do slide it on just like any other shield. You take the hand off and you slide up the arm. The glue on the second strap is very light. So you can see that as I'm moving the figure around, it's actually sliding off. It is very easy to get on, but the glue for the second strap did not like being slid on, and this is with the hand off. I did not attempt to put it with the hand on. But yeah, sliding it up did cause it to just pop off. A tiny bit of glue back on. I don't have any on hand. Just a tiny bit of glue will fix that, so not a big deal, but it's just something to look out for. So yeah, you can see that this is definitely standout figure. Now, I think he was 210 Australian direct from Asmus, maybe even a little bit less than that. I can't remember what Pop Culture is selling him for. Now, I wasn't planning on getting Bilbo Baggins here. Young Bilbo Baggins. Again, the likeness is pretty solid. The head is probably the biggest complaint that I've seen. As you can see, it kind of looks like his head is too big on the body. I've got Frodo and them packed away. I need to see if that's the same on the other hobbits. It could just be the fact that that Bilbo is so skinny, and that might be what's adding to it. I would also be interested to look at Frodo's sting, because I think they've actually lost some of the detailing on Sting here. I thought Sting might have had a couple of more runes to it, but I could be quite wrong. Lifting up his coat. Oh, sorry, it is, I am sitting next to a window. So he has his scarf. Moving that out of the way, we have his green jacket, brown, and there is another white shirt underneath that. He does not have the mithril vest. So, putting Bilbo next to Thorin, we can see that there is a little bit of a height difference there. And Bilbo's accessories are extremely well done, I will say. Again, we have the display stand. We have a pipe that falls out quite a bit, so just be careful of that. We have a nice felt, I guess it's kind of like a fake leathery. It'll be interesting to see if this flakes, actually. It's that pleathery type material. Bag, I don't know if it actually opens. Haven't tried that. We have, this is probably one of my favourite accessories here, we have the contract. Now, getting the contract to focus, you can actually, if you have a very strong magnifying glass, you could probably actually read it. As you can see, you can read the top line there, and then it kind of gets smaller and smaller as it goes along. But this is printed on, it's not paper as such, it's more probably a thin cardboard, but you can actually place it in one of his hands. I believe it's this one. Yeah, you can slide the paper into this hand here, underneath the thumb there, and you can do the "I'm going on an adventure" scene from the first movie. Pointing, grasping. So again, a nice assortment of hands. We get the Hobbit, and again, it's filled with pages written in, is it in English or Elvish? Looks English. Again, probably be able to read it if you had a strong enough magnifying glass. You get a map from the film with the various locations on it. You can see the Lonely Mountain. And we have a portrait. So, and of course we do have the sheath for housing Sting. And again, that just, you can tie that around him and whatnot. So, I got Bilbo during the Boxing Day sales. He was $40 off, I want to say. And again, I think I paid 200 Australian for him. That might not be right. Maybe I paid... Yeah, sorry. I'm trying to think. I think Bilbo was slightly cheaper than Thorin. I'm just trying to think. It might have been... I might have paid $210 for Bilbo and $260 for Thorin. I think that probably sounds a bit more correct. I will go back and check that now. I think Thorin was closer to 300 because Aramir was 280. So I'm thinking that both Thorin and Aramir were 280 and Bilbo was 210. So I apologise for that earlier in the video. But overall, these are quite good figures. And if you're a Lord of the Rings fan or Middle-earth fan, I know that the Hobbit movies aren't really that well received. I didn't mind them. The CGI was a bit shit and did take away from the fact that Lord of the Rings was so well done. But the characters themselves, quite nice to have. I'm hoping that they do an Elrond or a Galadriel later in the track. Arwen, the Tyler's character, is scheduled for release next month, I think, after Chinese New Year. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this quick look at these Hobbit figures.